I think I need to update my slide of Big Four for you because I wasn't quite sure how to show the chuckanut versus the melange, but I think that there's kind of where the vegetation is there, this line going up across. I think that's the upper part is melange.
Oh, wow.
And then this bottom is chuckanut.
This diagonal contact?
Well,
like
I think it's actually sloping across, and that might be something within chuckanut, because I know that the stuff down here at the bottom to the right of the ice is conglomerate.
Hi everybody, welcome to Western Washington. I'm with a friend, Backcountry Gary, learning from him again. Here in Western Washington, thinking about Lahars, Glacier Peak volcano, exotic terrains, everything else. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. Let's flip you around. Oh, sure.
So yeah, the Sauk River starts up here in by the old mining town of Monte Cristo on one fork, and the other fork basically is the goes up in North Fork goes up into the Glacier Peak wilderness, but not draining Glacier Peak, and then the White Chuck River, which is a major tributary, comes off the west side of Glacier Peak, and we'll definitely stop and see that. That's where the water comes from.
Huh.
And you'll notice Clear Creek down here is very clear, and the Sauk River's got a little bit of milk to it.
Because it's coming off a Glacier Peak volcano with the ice up there.
Yep.
So God knows what has come down this valley. Big floods coming down the valley from Glacier Peak volcano. Lahars possibly coming down.
Lahars definitely coming down. So you got to check some of these. Some of these stumps are rocks, but most of them are stumps.
You really do have to kick things to decide if it's wood or rock.
You do.
So this has been logged over at least once, we can guess?
No, this has not been logged in here. This area was skipped. There was the Sauk River Lumber Company that had one of the first big timber sales, and there was a railroad that went through kind of the outside edge here that went up the valley. And there's a whole bunch of stories about that, how the train took the loggers up and brought them back down, and camps and everything. But so I don't know if the trees were too small back then. They had bigger trees up further up, because these were, I believe, about fairly young forest, about 100 when it initiated in the 1850s, I think, or something, probably after a fire.
Wow. Okay. So this is old growth, but not the scale of classic old growth forest in Western Washington.
Right. This is old, but not real old.
But old because of burn instead of old because of logging.
Right.
You see how quick my brain works?
That was fast.
Jeez. God. I think I'm a little groggy this morning. I'm just trying to process. Well, yeah, this is, so are these, what kind of trees are we looking at?
We're looking at Douglas fir. And then there's a lot of western red cedar.
Oh.
And some of them...
How do you tell the difference? Can you tell the difference by bark?
Yeah, the cedar has kind of this fibrous bark.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that.
It kind of goes...
oh yeah, so soft. Wow. Western red cedar. As opposed to Doug fir bark that's
kind of the thick corrugated bark.
Let's go back to that guy. Yeah. Thick corrugated. Yeah, a little harder, but still surprisingly.
And then we have a Pacific yew right here. And this was the yew got famous in the 80s as there's a chemical that comes out of it, Taxol, which was used for cancer treatments.
Huh.
And so we were at one point where everybody was trying to save all the yew trees.
Huh.
And I think they made
Yeah, what happened?
a synthetic version.
Oh, okay.
And we have a western hemlock up here next up on your left.
My goodness.
That's not quite as, the bark looks a little smoother, and you can also always tell hemlocks if you can see the top of the trees, because the very top of the hemlock will droop over.
Huh.
And you can't tell that on that tree from here, but
Right.
you can look at the bark and see that it's not as corrugated as the Doug fir.
So this is
Western hemlock.
this the same one I was looking at? No, that was Western red cedar.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Sauk River, bunch of big boulders, cobbles. If I was here by myself, I would not be thinking about Lahars, but now that I'm talking to you, Gary, I'm almost visualizing liquid concrete coming in here, a lot of sand, mud, and these things. And then a continuation of the water flow is like taking all that fine stuff out of here, and we're left with these bigger rocks. Is that the way you're viewing it too?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Redistributing all of the fine stuff further and further and further down the valley.
And that fine stuff finally settles out down in Skagit Flats, down Puget Sound.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very apparent from, if you're up on Sauk Mountain, which is at the confluence of the Sauk River and the Skagit.
Okay.
If you look down on those rivers, you'll notice one of them is pretty clear, the Skagit,
Oh.
and the Sauk is not clear. And there's no volcano upstream on the Skagit.
Okay.
And part of the very clear water probably has something to do with the dams, but
Sure.
there's some, definitely there is some silt input, but not as near as much as there is coming down off of Glacier Peak and the White Chuck and the Seattle drainages.
Okay, just spitballing with you here. The White River coming off of Rainier was the main pipeline for the Osceola mud flow, following Rainier all the way down to Commencement Bay at Tacoma. Is this the White River version of Glacier Peak? Like, is this the main river coming off of Glacier Peak coming this way?
Well, the Seattle River is actually a really good analogy to the White River on Rainier, because it starts on the kind of east side and goes around the north side and then out. And then this is almost more like the Puyallup side, so to speak.
Yeah, okay.
Coming off the west side of Glacier Peak.
And I know this is not your work. You're a long-time Forest Service guy, but I'm just getting started thinking about Lahars. Do you know about Lahar deposits in this versus, what was the other river again?
Seattle. Yeah.
Pretty healthy Lahar deposits in both drainages as far as you know?
Yes. Possibly healthier in the Seattle than here.
But
Not sure about that.
No work on those Lahar deposits, like dates or size, or like, was there a big one and then some smaller ones more recently, do you think?
I believe there has been a fair amount of work done on those, and I'm can't think of the name.
I'm putting you on the spot,
right
but
now, but they've been differentiated into several different major events.
God, I'm just stunned that I haven't even thought about the basics of the Lahars down these drainages.
Well, we'll go see some here shortly.
Good. Okay, influences at the confluence. I see a little sign over here, Gary, but maybe could you help us with this handy little map here? First of all, kind of what we're doing in this video here today. So Seattle is down to the south. This is I-5 heading up to Bellingham. And can you take it from there, please?
Yeah, so we started out up in Darrington this morning, and we're working our way up the Sauk River, and we're now there. And where we're at is the confluence of the White Chuck River, which flows off of the west side of Glacier Peak, and the Sauk River, which continues on up into the wilderness area and also up into the town site of Monte Cristo.
Okay. So this is a nice schematic here. I don't know, is this you guys? No. Yeah, this is Forest Service. Whoever, you know who put this together?
I don't remember.
This is a nice little display here. So I love this because I'm surprised that we're thinking about Lahars here, but we shouldn't be surprised. And so Glacier Peak is an active volcano. These guys are not, but we've already filmed a little bit, full disclosure, this morning looking at some differences. What did you want to spitball on here as far as, I just like this vantage point with the Lahar story.
Okay, so much for Lahars. We needed to put the straight freaking creek fault runs right through here, right through there. And so we're looking east. We're looking east, southeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So that's part of the story here. You can't leave that out.
No, you can't. Well,
I mean, Lahars are they're great, but we got to go back into the crazy Eocene here.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So everything bedrock-wise here belongs 60 miles that way.
Yeah, this is all Easton.
Yeah.
Pretty much over here.
Yeah.
And then we got Chewacum and Nason Ridge over here, and then various pieces of the Sloan Creek plutons, which are they're all like roughly 90.
Yeah, in the 90s. Well, there we go. So that's crystalline core. That's Wenatchee block.
Yeah.
Right up in there. And then to the novice, you're like, oh, okay, well, there's another piece of Easton or something probably, or the Chewacum. But no, that's a very young volcano. So we do have Lahar deposits coming down this in the last 2 million years.
Yeah, in the last 12,000 years.
12,000 years, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, Glacier Peak's, one of the interesting things to me about it is, unlike most of the other Cascade volcanoes, it kind of erupted on a ridgetop. And so it kind of came up right through Chewacum Schist and Nason Ridge Gneiss. And so it got to start out at 7,000 feet basically, and then go up from there, and didn't have to start out low elevation.
That's really cool. Because there's exposures of that old stuff up pretty high. That's why you know there's a ridge?
Yeah, both sides of the volcano. Went right over the top of the stuff.
As opposed to Baker, where you don't have exotic stuff going up that high?
You got some. I mean, you have Nooksack up there that it's on top of, and then some of the Belle Pass Melange, but not as high up.
All right, so not to beat it too hard, but here's the North Cascades Highway. So I've been making videos on Highway 20. If you saw a video with Bob Miller and Stacia Gordon, we started in the Marble Mount area and then went up and over the North Cascades, Diablo Lake, you might remember. So this is an area I've never been to the south.
And we're going the other way.
Yes. Last comment. I feel like it's an underappreciated story that Lahars from Glacier Peak Volcano went down the Sewaddle, White Chuck, Sauk.
Not the Sauk.
Not the Sauk.
The lower part of the Sauk.
Oh, I see. So the stuff in the lower part, Lahar stuff here came down the White Chuck.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah, there's not a connection between the North Fork Sauk and the volcano itself.
Thank you. But then the story that I feel like needs to be done, I guess I will at some point if nobody else is going to. Well, help me out, Gary. Lahars aren't coming here.
Yes.
They are?
Yep, they're coming down both the North Fork of this Stillaguamish this way, which is an oversized valley, and also going up to Skagit and all the way around to the tulip fields.
I mean, that's the crazy part to me. This is so flat if you know this drive on I-5. And I need to investigate more, but it seems pretty solid that there's Lahar deposits you can trace all the way back up to this active volcano. And I just don't... Maybe I'm the only one out to lunch, but I don't think people are talking about that or visualizing that. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's here to take a peek at? Let's just keep it rolling. Why not? Oh, I see milky water. I think. Maybe I don't.
You see milky water.
I think so.
Yeah, it might be a little hard to see the clear water on the other side of the river coming down the Sauk River. Morning.
Oh, wow. Hi. Hi.
Oh, hi there.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, this is exceedingly low water.
Hmm.
I mean, normally almost all these boulders would be covered up, but you can see some of the variety. I mean, it's like maybe almost a chuck and nice there. Down here, we can go look at some of those.
Sure, let's go. Yeah.
Obviously, lots of andesite. Green, pink.
If you blindfolded me, oh wow.
It's got a lot of muscovites or something in there. That's probably a Chewacum.
Okay. Like I'm just mentally thinking about other drainages off of other Cascade stratovolcanoes. Like drainages off of Baker, drainages off of Adams. Are they all looking like this? Are they all with these huge boulders in a valley floor like this? Or is there something different
yeah, I
here?
think there's more. I think the unique thing here is the variety. Because you have stuff coming out of the Wenatchee block. You've got Easton.
Yeah, oh, right.
You've got
Good God, look at this.
melange. Here's some piece of green blue schist right here.
Yeah, so not only is there a stratovolcano at the head of this, but there's this exotic terrain fruitcake that also is contributing to the bedload here, which you don't have at Adams. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a big piece.
How the hell did that move?
Yeah.
Has to be Lahar. You can't.
I don't think the river moves this.
I don't think so either, do you?
Somebody left us a sample here.
Wow. Pretty.
It's pretty.
That's all we're going to say.
It's igneous.
There you go.
But this looks a lot like Chewacum schist to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
And the next one
God.
looks an awful lot like blue schist, green schist, I think.
Yeah, this is quite an area.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece right there
I'd
with
say so.
cut by all the dikes.
Right. So this is rare, huh? To see these many,
I think
so many of these boulders exposed.
Yeah. Usually we be perhaps almost waist deep here, and
God, look at that.
rains too much, we'd be way in over our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a real nice one down there.
I see it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Get that telephoto lens, Gary. Yeah, we could easily spend the whole day here, for goodness sake. But there's other things to see. Thank you. Wow, what a stop. Yeah, look at these things. at the size of these things.
Ooh. Yeah, somebody's beating the rocks apart there, huh?
Anger
And
management.
maybe we can date those rocks up there with the moon and sun on it.
Wow. Well, it's almost like you can talk yourself into Lahar right here.
Yeah, I think you can.
Still have the matrix. The sandy matrix, maybe even some of the. Oh yeah! Wow!
Yeah,
look at this.
I think you're right.
Is this thing going to come out? No, but there's some beautiful hornblends in there. Yeah, so to visualize a sandy, pumicey matrix around each of these boulders, big and small, Lahar in other words, but once upon a time, that deposit, you just stay right there, Gary, I'm going to pull back. Yeah, it's in there pretty good.
Yeah, that's...
But to have that deposit once upon a time, not be just on the bank, but to continue all the way across the valley, that's the visual. But I'm a rookie here over here. I'm a rookie trying to figure this out.
It's the drop off.
Okay. Oh. Oh my.
White Chuck River. Undercut the bank.
I would say so.
And
Hummus, really? Oh, look at that. This is incredibly lightweight pumice. Glacier Peak. Rounded. Transported down here. Oh my heavens.
yeah, it's all over. And
Wait, you don't think this fell out of the sky?
no, I don't think so. I think it has moved. And if we maybe this is a good spot to stand.
Yeah, I want
to look back over.
I do, yeah.
Here.
I'm going to, I promise I'll be careful. I'm going to hang on.
Hold on to that stump, so if it goes, you can go with it.
Right. I just caught that, by the way. I'm going over by that tree. Holy shit.
Sorry, Patrick. So if you can see that kind of fine stuff at the top there, it's like, I don't know, 15, 20 feet.
Oh, that's classic Lahar.
Which is like all this pumice. And then there's a couple different Lahars in there, I think, further down, at least.
How many faces are there like this in this drainage? Is this it?
This is certainly one of the big ones.
Goodness. Well, this had to have been studied carefully, right?
Well, this one's pretty new. This happened last winter.
Oh, you're
this
kidding
me. This is very
me.
fresh, yeah.
Oh, that's... I didn't even notice down in the river. Really? So that stuff slid. What month do you think? Was there a bunch of rain right before? Or
yeah,
snow?
there was a bunch of rain. And there's a bunch of kind of middling flood events last winter.
Goodness.
But you notice the kind of gray-blue down
Yeah.
there. And then you can see it down at the bottom, down here, kind of
Yeah.
the lower third, lower half, which is
Yeah.
that's I believe that's all glacial lake deposits that happened prior to Lahars and pumice.
Well, back in my area, yeah, that blue-gray clay is just a giveaway for a glacial lake, and the same thing over here, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
it's real interesting looking down. When you look down on this, it's almost eerily identical to the Oso slide.
I was just going to say.
But the Oso slide's another probably order of magnitude larger than this.
Wow.
But it did shove the river over, and
Just last winter, this river gets shoved. Where did the river come hard along the base before last winter? Here, do you think?
harder, yeah, harder.
Huh.
I mean, you can see there's some leftover trees down the bottom, a big cottonwood there. So it was cutting away down in here.
Good God. Did Oso expose Lahars? Do you remember?
I don't think it exposed Lahars. I think it exposed just more glacial
Outwash
gravels and till and clay.
which is not the story here. I don't see the big outwash gravels here necessarily.
No, this would have happened. I mean, what we have glacial is down at the bottom there, and that was the lake deposit. So that happened after there's a lobe of ice that off of the Puget lobe, essentially, that pushed its way southwards up the Sauk Valley. And when it started backing up, all the water got stuck between the snout of that and the exit, which had been over Barlow Pass at the time.
So this Lahar's got to be super young. Like, how young is it? Younger than 10,000 years? Has to be, right? It's sitting on top of all this glacial stuff.
Yeah, I don't know about 10, but 12. I think it was pretty rapid succession when the ice left and there's a big eruption on Glacier Peak, and we'd have to.
Wow.
I'm not quite sure the exact timing, but certainly you had ice, and then you had the lake, and then you had Glacier Peak going off and sending Lahars and
This is stunning.
pumice down here.
Stunning in part because I thought today was nothing but exotic terrains, and we spent the whole morning in this stuff, which is, it's just a pleasant surprise to learn this quaternary stuff.
Ah, dang it. You know, it's funny, it's green. Let's try this one. There we go.
Ooh, that sounded good. Made it.
What's that look like?
Yeah. Shucks and blue schist green schist.
Yep. Just like French Cabin Creek.
Just like it. But we're on the other side of the Straight Creek Fault. Oh, no, we're not.
We're on the right side of the Straight Creek Fault. The proper side. Straight Creek Fault is just right, like half a mile east of us here.
Okay, so we're west of the Straight Creek Fault. This, if we go back 50 million years ago, this stuff should be south of Yakima.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, okay.
Do you want to keep it? That's a nice color.
Thank you. I would definitely like to keep it. You brought your map.
So we're right about in here.
Yeah.
And we got three things. That the ES is the Shuckson, the ED is the Darrington phyllite, the PDC is something Chilliwack. So think we're probably right there at that, the level of detail. You lose a little bit here on the scale, but we definitely got green schist, so it's this little wedge here they show coming down.
Mm-hmm. So that fault is really a family of faults, isn't it? Like
a family of faults.
Like
a faulty
got
family.
all these strands coming through there, Like it's almost like the Ross Lake Fault zone, It's not one clean razor sharp break. I don't think,
part of it is. I mean, it's. This piece up here, I had that slide. Shared where it's really you can straddle that and be 1 foot in green schist and another foot in the one of the pluton there.
Right. Oh, there's Pew. There's Mount Pew.
The KT, the Cretaceous tonalite or whatever, which is the same as the KT down here,
almost.
And the KT right here by Mount Stewart,
the old mushroom,
and the Ten Peak, and the Dirty Face, and the Black Peak.
You're out of control now.
Yeah, I know. We're getting out of here.
Okay, Gary. We got blue sky. We got mountains.
Shockingly, we actually have mountains today. Bit of a surprise. We had Valhalla Peak up above us here, which is clearly within the Melange Belt.
Stunning. Like, I didn't know this kind of relief existed in this valley. Hello.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Backcountry Gary.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
My name's Rich.
Hi, Rich. Nice to meet you.
Gary.
Hi, Rich. What's your last name? Trenter. Oh, wow.
They just opened this trail here on the 7th.
Oh.
The bridge has been out for a couple of years, and it was closed until the 7th. They helicoptered that new section.
Were you here?
Not the 7th. We did it last Thursday. We went up there. Trail's in good shape, but there's not much of a snowfield there now,
Yeah.
But there's still 2 entrances into the cave. And it's
sweet.
Cool.
There's rocks up there, though.
There are tons of rocks up there.
Yeah.
It looks like they're actually stratified in some way.
It's Chuckanut.
Oh, it is.
Eocene. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Do you guys know each other?
No.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool.
You live in Darrington, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy for you to get to know.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
wow.
what a skyline behind you. First of all, thrilled that we can get a chance to see it. Can you give us those peak names, please?
Well, the pointy one up there is Hall Peak. It's about 54, and it's in the Melange Belt. I'm right now forgetting if it's the east or west.
Sure. Wow.
And then Big 4, right under the sun.
Okay.
And that's 6135.
Jeez.
And on the way it's mapped, it looks like there's a contact between the Chuckanut, southeast Chuckanut, and the Melange that kind of slices across the face of the mountain. And then right behind the mountain, there's a Vesper stock. So it's kind of come in and cooked everything. But we'll take a closer look.
Yeah, let's take a walk.
We get up there.
Walk over there. I just thought I'd take advantage of this. So you've had a hand in some of the trail work here, or maybe all the trail work here. Can you give us a sense of?
Well, the trail's been here a long time, but it's as Richard just said, very heavily used, and it's a very difficult environment. The amount of precipitation here is really high. It's well over probably 160 inches a year. Much of that falls as snow higher up. The trail starts off, as you can see, it goes across this wetland, which is unstable. There's beavers, they make dams, they cause problems to the trail. The trail has to get fixed, it gets raised, and it just recently was actually, this is all redecked. And then the next problem is you got to cross the river on the bridge. And the bridge I'm familiar with was installed about 1969, and was very good up until 1990 when the river started widening, and then we had to extend the bridge by about 20 feet, and then that kind of barely hung on for a while. And then in 2006, big flood, the whole far end of the bridge wiped out and needed to be replaced. So that was the next problem. Then the third problem, you get up here, there's clay. And clay is really hard to build on and keep a trail there. We tried putting gravel surfacing on it. Just hard to keep that there. Then you go a little further up. The next problem is avalanches come off of the mountain there, and they have quite a wind blast with them sometimes. And they have a lot of debris with them. And we had 2 bridges we installed. I'm thinking it was in 2010, and they didn't last very long. Got blown out by avalanche.
Really?
And then got put back in.
Holy!
After that.
Am I in Washington, Gary?
You're in Washington.
What in the world? I haven't even heard about this place before. Seriously, the Big Four.
The lodge was right there where the fireplace is, and of course it burnt down. And
goodness, just the relief. What's the relief from our elevation to the top? 5,000 feet?
That's not that much. Only about 4, a little over 4.
I don't know where I've been, man, but
that's a very dynamic environment we have here.
Gosh sakes, yeah. So is it one of these places where, like, what comes first, the crowds or the trails that you establish? Like, are you?
Well, I mean, there was some mining that was going on up here.
Yeah.
A little bit. And there was a trail. There was a bridge. The lodge that was put in. And we should have looked at the sign because I always forget what year it was installed. It was accessed by the railroad that came up from Everett to Monte Cristo initially. And so then they fixed the trail, I think, was put in roughly the same location about that time.
Okay.
And then it keeps kind of getting rebuilt, widened out a little bit more to handle the masses.
And the masses are coming up here. It's day use. This is not some trailhead for a whole network of backcountry.
Right. This is just people are fascinated with ice caves.
Oh.
And so they want to go see the ice caves.
Here we go. That's the draw. That's starting to make more sense. Like, I would totally be attracted to this place, but I was just kind of wondering, like, why is it that impressive or this popular to be up here? But the ice cave thing, yeah, that captures people for whatever reason.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, we've tried to change the name and
oh, really?
Limited success.
Goodness sakes.
So we're looking over here on the right is Mount Dickerman. You can't quite see the top of that. And we're looking up the Perry Creek drainage.
God.
And across the way is essentially the shoulder of Stillaguamish Peak. And most of what we're seeing over here is Barlow Pass volcanics. I'm happy to see this. This has been brushed here recently. I was up here earlier this summer. It was pretty crowded in.
So what's our destination here?
I think we're going to go up to the end of the trail.
Okay.
We'll go look but not enter any ice cave that may be present. They're unstable. They may fall on us. And there's been a number of fatalities up here where people have been playing around near the ice caves or observing the ice caves, and chunks of ice fall off. And it's, as you can see by the sign there, they can kill you.
Well, I don't want to be killed today, so
I'm with you on that.
Let's look but not touch.
So here we're coming up to the crossing of the South Fork Stillaguamish River.
I don't see that big arched structure like we had the video earlier this summer.
No.
With the helicopters and everything.
No, there were helicopters and everything here, but much saner approach in my mind.
There were helicopters though? With this
Oh
one?
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow, really?
Yeah, each one of these segments was flown in
I'll
from
follow
the parking
you.
lot.
Each segment flown in by helicopter. I would never have guessed that. Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, there's some debate about the whole bridge when we first got it, but the thing was that the aluminum is very lightweight, and we have some pretty long spans. And we were trying to use the existing supports that didn't wash out in the flood.
Huh.
And it's amazing how it's grown up. But if you kind of look down in the bushes here, there's kind of a chunk of concrete back in here, and that was one of the footings for the bridge
Oh, yeah.
that got washed downstream and took the bridge with it in 2006.
South Fork, what river again, please?
This is the South Fork Stillaguamish River.
Stillaguamish.
And across the way there, you can see some of the nemesis, which is you can see that layer of clay.
Yeah,
And on top of that, there's some till.
yeah. That's no good, huh?
That's no good. So that's that side's been eroding, and this bridge found itself being, after we actually, in 2009 when we put it in, right beforehand, we lengthened it by about 15 feet, as I recall, and apparently not enough. So the shiny segment here we're about to step on was about half as long as it is now. And so that was taken out in 2019 to make sure it just didn't fall in the river.
Huh. I don't know why I'm laughing, by the way, but
Well, sometimes that's all you can do.
okay, well, this is one of your shoots, one of your avalanches that happened in the last 20 years?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, and I think it was 2010, 2011.
Huh.
Um,
Okay.
and I don't know if you maybe noticed some of the tree tops around here they don't have tops.
Yeah.
And so they got the tops, a lot of the tops got blown out. And that
Snapped off. Huh?
snapped right off. And then up here, a whole bunch of trees blew down. There didn't used to be a nice view of the mountain
Huh.
like there is now.
Wow, what a sight that must have been. These things just snapping like toothpicks.
Yeah, you didn't want to be here for that.
Almost like smaller scale, obviously, but like the blast zone of St. Helens, you know, that big charge of whatever out in front of the ash flow, same idea. Just
Yeah.
put all these trees down and scald them.
Yeah, well, I mean, you drop snow off the top of there, it just drops straight down 4,000 feet, and there's a bit of a wind blast when that hits the
boy,
bottom.
I suppose.
I think I need to update my slide of Big Four for you, because I wasn't quite sure how to show the Chuckanut versus the melange, but I think that there's kind of where the vegetation is there, this line going up
Yeah.
across. I think that's the upper part is melange,
Oh, wow.
and then this bottom is Chuckanut.
This diagonal contact?
Well,
Like that?
I think it's actually sloping across, and that might be something within Chuckanut, because I know that the stuff down here at the bottom to the right of the ice is conglomerate, and just looking at all the kind of the stair-steppy nature of the way those blocks break off over there, that suggests the same thing to me.
My goodness. This should be a pop-up spot. What the heck? Is there enough parking?
Well, that upper parking lot, yeah, and people can assemble down by the where we park. No cell phone. That's your
Yeah.
That'd be your Starlink test.
Lug the dish out here.
And yeah, you'd have 1,000 people and need a PA system too.
Yeah, 1,000 a year groupies, Gary. Well, I'm just stunned by this place. And I can only imagine if it's a late June evening and the west sun is lighting its face up, I'm guessing. But even with this condition, it's just, look at that. Holy Lord. The big four are literally the four major peaks surrounding us, or not?
No, a lot of people thought there's like 4 bumps on the top, but in reality, in the early days, if you're up by Monte Cristo looking this way, there's a patch of snow that made a big 4, kind of over on the left-hand side. And
Okay.
one of those things that sticks, like that
Yeah.
Homus Creek I was talking about.
All right, so it's Sesame Street. You can count Dracula's count. 1,
There
2,
you go.
4. That's the number 4. Just double checking. We are in Washington. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, we are in Snohomish County, Washington, roughly the middle.
Unbelievable. You're 31 and I show up. What have I been doing?
Well, you've been doing some cool stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not interested in going in there. People, I suppose, go in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's just snow, right?
It's ice.
It is ice?
Yeah, we can walk up to the edge of it there.
Huh. Yeah, a lot of argillette looking stuff. That's out of the chucking it, I guess. I don't really know what's in the Melange Belt besides Arcosic sandstone. And some gabbro that's holding up some of the ridges, I guess.
And a bunch of chert.
Sure.
Some limestone. A
Okay.
little marble.
Well, it is a Melange. It's
Little-
going to be a blender
little
unit
Jamaican.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some.
Oh, wow. We have an avalanche right there. Meta conglomerate, I guess.
Saw a little chunk fall off there on the right-hand side. You want to get closer?
Sure.
Yeah, that sweep, I think, is just incredible.
I do too. Chuckanut or Melange, I've already forgotten.
Chuckanut.
Wow.
And then Melange definitely up
Oh,
the top
okay.
part up there.
Uh,
And this looks like Chuckanut to me too. And I know the rocks right at the base up here are conglomerate.
and every time you say the word Chuckanut, I think the word Swak.
Yeah.
Same stuff, you know?
And it does look like to me like there is some sort of fault that kind of runs up the gully, because there's like those guys and then there's these other guys that are going like kind of angling into it.
Mhm.
Something must have run into these rocks. Something big.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah. Probably some big bunch of basalt or something coming out of the ocean running into it.
I gotta check your ID now, see if you remember the lunatic fringe or not. Forced to wear a name tag out here, lunatic fringe. Nah, Silesia is not a lunatic fringe. That's fine. That's mainstream.
Well, this is, it's kind of encouraging after the long hot weather. There's a fair amount of actual snow. I mean, you can see this, there's a very icy blue pillar right in here.
Yeah.
But this looks like this is last winter's snow. Hey, you drive a bus in there.
We come right to the rim. Thinking of Jerome Lessman right now.
The subglacial.
Plug these suckers with gravel.
Somebody said it heard that word too many times. Silesia, okay.
When the rustic sourdough came in, yeah.
And the rustic sourdough arrived and pushed up apparently melange belt, so it started eroding some of its chert.
God, this is staggering.
What is that? Is that? There might be like little chunks of gabbro.
Yeah. This is just...
Yeah, it's pretty hard stuff. I mean, it's all breaking right through the class. Yeah, this stuff here kind of looks like some of the argillite in the melange belt.
I think it's chucking it down here and melange up high.
Yeah, if we can trust Ralph and Roland's map, which I
think we
generally think we can trust to a high degree.
I think we should. Yeah, there's a big slab that just broke off.
Yeah, that's you can almost look up there and see where it came out of.
Come on, Gary, let's restore this. Let's get that slab back to where it belongs.
Hiya! First try. That's pretty stuff.
Yeah, look at that fracture pattern. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I don't know where that is from. That could be melange. Feels like it to me.
I haven't seen any
upper part.
Yeah, put it this way, I haven't seen any of that in this walk. Nothing that hard in this walk. Again, you've got your pluton nearby that maybe cooked everything.
Yeah, and you got your shale though in the swap.
Shale, yeah, black shale.
Right,
but
not that.
Not this. Yeah, it's dense. This stuff's dense. Huh. Isn't that crazy? There's just an incredible amount of this conglomerate. Or in some places breccia. Like, I'm really impressed. Like, Well, thank you for such a nice day.
Oh, my pleasure.
I've just
It's
been thrilled by this.
great to get out here and actually see a mountain.
I think that's what we're
Yeah.
saying. This young family's enjoying it too. Okay, Gary. Well, until next time.